Hey everybody, Fetty here, and this is day 2 and part 2 of building a pole garage or a pole barn. Yesterday I got the building all laid out, got my batter boards up, run the string lines, got it squared up real good, checked some elevations, and it's ready right now to start digging some holes. Today what I want to try to accomplish is get the holes dug, and I'm going to bed each of these holes with 2 or 3 inches of concrete. So I'd like to get that done today, and if I can get that done, I can set up, overnight, and tomorrow maybe I could start sticking in some poles. Let me explain the method behind my madness here. I know that I want this building to stand 10 foot tall, okay? So that post is going to be 10 foot above grade. Now let me explain this. I'm talking about grade, I'm not talking about the ground. I want that post to stick 10 foot above grade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the high corner and I'm going to come up 1 foot and call that grade. Now the reason I'm doing that, I want to be able to go in there with some fill, maybe next spring, raise it up a little bit, because I want to get it up a little bit because some water flows down through there. Raise it up a little bit with some fill. Then I want to be able to put 2 or 3 inches of gravel in there. And I want to leave myself enough room that one of these days down the road I can pour about 4 inches of concrete. So I'm giving myself 12 inches to play with to accomplish all that. So the posts are going to stick out 10 feet above grade. These posts are 14 feet long. So 10 foot above grade. Leave myself a foot, to kind of level up. And at that high corner, that post is going to be 3 foot in the ground. I think I did that math right. Now, I'm not at all concerned with, how deep I dig these holes and, how much post is sticking out initially. What I'm concerned about is the bottom of that hole, okay? If you remember, the high corner of that layout, it falls off about 7 or 8 inches down on the other end. So imagine this is the ground and it falls off about 7 inches. I don't care about that because that's going to get filled in later on. All I'm caring about is that the bottom of these holes right here, the bottom of these holes are on the same plane all the way around underneath the ground. Now if I can get those on the same plane, I'll know when I stick these posts in that every post is going to stick out the same amount above grade, not above ground, but above grade. So that's what I want to try to accomplish. And if I can hit it just right, the other benefit that I can get from it, if I can work up the courage to do it, is I'm going to notch the top of these posts so that the banding beam can go in it. If I hit these piers just right, I might notch those things before I ever stand them up and bed them completely in concrete, because I'll know that those notches will be level all the way around too. That'll save me the aggravation of having to climb up there with a skill saw or a chainsaw and notching them out later on. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. If I hit it just right, I'm going to go for it. Now the way that I'm going to do this is I'll have that laser level out there. And I'll, once I get that hole dug, I'll start bedding it with a little bit of concrete. And I'll take that laser level and just lay it on the surface of that bed, of that concrete. And when I get it, that laser won't lie. When I'm shooting level on that plane, I'll know it, and I'll just stop and let that concrete set up. Now, if it settles a little bit overnight, I've got some of this little chat, little landscaping chat. I'll put that in there, and I'll work with it until it's all level on the same plane. So that's what I'm going to try to accomplish today. It's pretty nice out here actually. It's not too cold. It's a little bit windy, so maybe I can get this done today. I hope so. But we just need to head down the field and get started. The best part of doing any of these kind of projects like this is being able to justify buying some cool tools. I've always kind of wanted to have a post hole digger for my tractor, and I thought this was just a great excuse to go ahead and get one. So it's time to start digging these holes and get them ready to put them posts in. Now I'm standing here on the high corner of this building. This corner right here is what I'm going to reference everything else off of. Now I've already worked out the math of how deep I want that hole to be, and I've dug that hole, and last night I went ahead and bedded it in a little bit of concrete, and I brought it up to the level exactly where I want it to be. I've got my laser here, and when I put that laser on it and set it down on that concrete, I mean, I'm right on it. I'm probably within 1/16 of an inch. And when I go to putting a little bit of concrete in the bottom, I'll use this laser to dial everything in. And then at that point, the bed of those piers underneath the ground, they're all going to be on the same plane, probably within 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so I got another hole dug right here, and I'll tell you, as awesome as that post hole digger is, it will not remove all the material out of that hole. It kind of turns it into a real fine powder. So just go ahead and get ready up here mentally and emotionally and physically to know you're going to have to clean them holes out a little bit the old-fashioned way, the way the Pilgrims did with a post hole digger. Now if you're old and fat and give out like I am, just go ahead and budget a little extra time because you'll get plumb wore out doing it. But I've got the hole cleaned out. It looks real good. What I'm going to do now, I've got an old 4x6 that I had laying around, and I'm just going to beat that hole down, tamp it down real good. And once I do that, well, I'm going to come back in with my laser and make sure that I'm maybe 2 or 3 inches too deep, and that way I can bed that hole with concrete. So let me go ahead and tamp this hole down. I've got about 3 inches in the bottom of this hole, so that'll work out perfect. I'll just bring it up with a little concrete and it'll be good. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my string line back out while I got that pole in there, and just make sure I've got that hole exactly where I want it, so that there'll be room to set that post in there and have enough room around the perimeter where I can, you know, fill it up with concrete. Just double checking, so let me go ahead and do that real quick. That looks really good. I got plenty of room in the front, and the back, and the sides when I go to fill it up with concrete, so that this post will be fully encased in concrete. And I'll bring it right up to the edge of the string line, level on the post. This hole looks really good. It's ready to go. Well, I've had about 20 Diet Cokes and about 5 heart attacks, but I've got these holes dug and I'm feeling really good about it. Didn't find any buried treasure or Jimmy Hoffa or anything like that, but the holes are dug, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up there and start mixing up some concrete, and I'm going to start bedding these holes with concrete. I've already done the corners and got them dialed in. Got the laser set up. I'm going to bed the rest of these holes with concrete, bring them all up to where they're on the same plane. And that way I'll know when I go to put my posts in, I'll know exactly how much post I have sticking out above grade. So just keep moving. Well, got all them holes dug yesterday and got them bedded with concrete, and they look pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I came out this morning, checked on it, and it all looks pretty good. The next thing we want to do is start setting posts in those holes and concreting them in. But for now, this is a pretty good place to stop part 2 of this video. Hope you enjoyed the video, maybe learned something, got something out of it, maybe got some of your own ideas. As always, if you like my videos, remember to give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.